Well, a gay conversion therapy group that's Virginia-based, it's known as People Can Change, or PCC. They're saying that they're able to help men, quote, minimize or eliminate their sexual attraction to other men. They were hauled before the FTC. They were accused of unfair, deceptive, and fraudulent practices. That's the legal challenge or complaint against them. This group was filed, of course, by the National Center for Lesbian Rights, Gay and Lesbian Rights, as well as the Southern Poverty Law Center. Now, Richard Tyler, who founded the PCC, Joe, he has a lot to say about this, the complaint filed against him. The accusation is that he's defrauding consumers by saying that this illness or defect can be cured. He's offering a cure, and these retreats or journeys, as he's calling them, you pay for a service. It ranges from $75 to $875. What do you make of this? He's been hauled before the FTC.
Well, it was only last year when President Obama made a public appeal to mental health professionals to stop trying to cure gayness, to put an end to this gay conversion therapy. And the problem is not so much a group assembling, but it's more when talking about LGBT issues are looked at in a way where it's like people think it's a sickness and people think there's a cure for it, and that's where the issue lies, because you're putting these ideas into society. And
particularly when it comes to parental rights versus the rights of a child, and I think that that's where that line's drawn, because as a child you don't really have the say whether you go to therapy or not. Your parents do, and if there's a propensity, or that belief that they have, somebody who has a gay child, they should cure it like an illness. And then we've seen cases like that where a child is taken against their will and forcibly tried, to be coerced into not being gay. We are talking about adult men here, and the Richard Tyler, the founder of PCC, this is what he actually had to say about his organization and the complaint filed against him. He says he called the complaint against him an act of hate and vicious bullying against our community of adult men, gay, bisexual, ex-gay, and same-sex attracted men. For our own religious or other deeply personal reasons, we choose to not identify as gay or live a gay life. That's our First Amendment right to free speech and free assembly. So he's calling in the context of free assembly, which we typically hear in protest cases, not in cases like this. But he does make that point, Joe, that we're talking about adult men here. We're not talking about children. They are assembling for one purpose. Is that a basic right that they have? And if so, could they lose their business aspect status because either public outrage or because of Southern poverty law bringing this up?
It is consensual adults. It is adults who are making their own choices. They're saying, I want to go. But there is a fraud element if science shows that being gay is not something that can be cured or changed, if this is a biological predisposition, then to say and put the message out there to adults that you can change your sexual orientation if you come to our classes, to our groups, that is fraud. It's only the science that can back it up either way.
Well, these professional organizations like PCC, they're coming under fire, shooting back the head of PCC, saying, look, we have a right of freedom of assembly and freedom of speech. Now, whether that's called into question, that remains to be seen. But Southern Poverty Law settlement was announced in 2012, where they successfully sued a similar organization, a New Jersey-based group called Jonah, that offered a similar service. It's coming under fire. This complaint lodged before the FTC, outcome uncertain. But what we do know is that we're talking about science versus rights versus opinion, and a lot of issues at play, but it's before the FTC right now in Virginia. We could see an end to this organization.